Hey everyone, it's been a sec, and my uploads aren't the most consistent, but here we are finally, looking at what has become maybe my favorite song on Men I Trust Untourable, Sorbitol. Just listening to and playing it the past few days, it's one of those cases where playing it and sort of studying it in quotations only makes me appreciate it deeper and deeper. It's just another example of the sort of careful expertise of Men I Trust that I think sets them apart in their sort of own space and sound. But yeah, I'll just run through the tune beginning to end. And as always, music theory is descriptive, not prescriptive. There are no rules or limitations or formulas or anything. And all the stuff I'm saying might not be totally right at all. For me, at my sort of level, music theory is just a tool to communicate how things sound and lets me sort of immerse myself and listen closely and appreciate songs. All right, my first note here, structure-wise, this is not your traditional pop formula verse, chorus type thing. It's not sectional. Instead, it's in a medley form. So sectional form repeats previous sections, so like A, B, A, B. And medley form is more like A, B, C, D, where each section is sort of distinct and sort of leads into each other. This type of form, I think, is more attributed to like classical music or maybe stage or soundtrack stuff. But point is, it makes this song really distinctive. So starting with the intro, which is also our verse, we start on this chromatic descending line that for me is much more easily viewed in a sequenced sort of horizontal composition way as opposed to a functional way. You'll see what I mean. So E flat major 7, then we step down to this D minor 7, a pretty tame sort of 4-3 sort of sound. Then we keep our third and seventh in D minor 7, this F and the C, we keep those, but we lower the root and the fifth a half note. So D goes to D flat, A goes to A flat to get a D flat major 7. And then we do that same sort of 4-3 sounding change in the first measure again, so stepping down to a C minor 7. And this is just a chord sequence. I can actually keep doing this forever. So and you get the idea. This is something that Men I Trust likes to do, and I also like to do in my own music. But anyways, next we hit this B major 7, which is still part of that sequence. But then instead of continuing that sequence, we employ some parallel harmony and play major 7 chords in descending fifths. So B major 7, a fifth down to A major 7, which is the fifth of A major 7, which is the fifth of D major 7. And extra credit for those who sort of recognize this fifth major 7 movement thing from Numb. Men I Trust does the same thing there. So now that D major 7 lets us sort of sneakily get up to this E major 7 through some just parallel motion. Then we repeat those first 2 bars a half step up. So E major 7, down to the D sharp minor 7, then our root in our fifth lower to D major 7, then we drop down to C sharp minor 7. And I'm just labeling sharps and flats to try to make it readable. There's no like actual reason to it, I guess. Now to C major 7. And then to this sort of F major 7 with a B in there. So maybe like a flat 5, I guess. And then we end our section not doing more fifths like the last time, but hitting this sort of strong sus4 to dominant stuff to sort of end the sequence. So that E sus4 to E7. Maybe with some passing altered stuff in there, like there's that sort of stuff. So yeah, you got that. The verse is just the same thing, so I'll play through that. And then the fifths. And at the end, over some vaguely E dominant stuff, we have these pretty descending lines leading us into the chorus. So yeah, here we are in the chorus. From here on out, the song is pretty explicitly in F sharp minor, aka A major, so I changed the key signature. That ending E7 and all the pretty stuff on top led us nicely into this spicy D sharp minor 7 flat 5. So long story short, that E7 going to anything with an A and F sharp will sound pretty decent because of these half steps. So like, or, so for here we opt to go to this D sharp minor 7 flat 5. Then we step down to our D major 7, which is the same notes, we just move the root down 1/2 step. Then to our C sharp minor 7, our 3 chord. Now we step down again to our 2 chord, our B minor 7, with our melody hitting this 9th. And now our 1 chord, our A major 7. And it kind of sounds like home, but we're not there yet, so we jump up a 3rd to that C sharp minor 7 to sort of reset the progression. And now we're back on this D sharp minor 7 flat 5. Back to our 4 chord, our D major 7, to 3, our C sharp minor 7, to B minor 7, our 2, and then just like our verse, instead of hitting home like A major, we could use some strong dominant action. So in this case, after B minor 7, we have the dominant 3rd. So C sharp sus to C. And this sets us up perfectly for this quiet, sort of tender post-chorus. So we start here on our 2 chord. I know this is in minor, but I always like to use major numbers because I'm lazy. So B minor, and I'm going to voice the stuff a little higher. Then to that dominant 3, that C sharp 7. And we can all feel that resolving to F sharp minor, our 6th chord. Then we repeat that B minor to that C sharp. And this time we hit in D major 7, which is just an F sharp minor over D. So it sounds the same, but also has a little interesting variation. I want to note here, a lot of us have probably heard that sort of major 7, minor 7, dominant 7 chords kind of sound more interesting and are the way to go. But there's this focused, I don't want to say classical, but purity in just using triads. Like right here, this B minor doesn't sound as clean with the 7th. Well, it sounds different. Same with this F sharp minor 7. Here it is without the 7th. Yeah, anyways, back to this B minor. To that C sharp. Now to this F sharp minor again. And then here we have this very sort of typical minor descending line. So we go to this inverted C sharp minor, down to this tension-filled D sharp minor 7 flat 5, like we saw in the chorus. Before again resolving this section with this big dominant 3 chord, this C sharp sus to C sharp. And finally, we're at our beautiful outro. This section is pretty straightforward, and you might have noticed that it has a really similar progression to the outro in Pierre. So I tried putting that solo over this for fun. But yeah, starting on our home bass, F sharp minor. Descending in again to that inverted sort of C sharp minor. now hopping up to our B minor, our 2 chord. And then those of you who are familiar with minor harmony, I guess, already spot that sort of minor 2-5 in our last bar. So G sharp minor 7 flat 5 to C sharp 7, and then we're back. And yeah, just I don't know, so incredibly beautiful. So yeah, if you're still here, I'm so grateful. I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you enjoyed the journey as much as I have. So yeah, have fun, enjoy, and happy playing if you play.